There we go. Recording's on, everybody. Let's go ahead and dive in. And today we are going to be talking about how you can learn the basics of Google Ads. I come from a small business background, so do understand that I've had 18 plus years in small business, specifically in digital marketing, with 13 plus years in international e-commerce. So I know online marketing pretty intimately. In fact, it's something that I deal with on a daily basis from the grassroots. It's one of the reasons the Google team approached me and talked to me about being a trainer, because I did have 12 plus years experience at that time, and I've been a Google trainer for 5 years. And knowing that 5+ years, so knowing that I actually come with a business background of starting in a business incubator, growing the business, having my adult sons take over in the business, and doing everything from being butcher, baker, and candlestick maker. I've earned the Texas Governor's Excellence in Small Business Award and the Texas Person of Vision Award. So I'm very excited today to share my experience with you, because I am a big fan of OPE, other people's experience. I believe it is more valuable than other people's money, because they save us significant time, energy, and money when we can learn from their mistakes and their resources, which is exactly what I'm providing here today with you, as well as the entire Google team. And do you know, I very much believe that, because I do come from that business incubator background, where I had an accounting classes in my BBA, my business administration degree, and my marketing degree, and all my other degrees after that. I have a strong background in understanding accounting, but I don't know it that well. So it was nice to have people in the incubator who had financial backgrounds, bank presidents, loan officers who really knew the questions to ask and what I needed to be looking at in my numbers. So I do value OPE, other people's experience. And today we'll be talking about learning the basics of Google Ads. So again, if you want closed caption, go here to this URL right here you see in the blue, open up a new tab or window. And if you would like to connect with me on social, this is me on Twitter, this is me on Instagram. And if you use any or do any tweeting or posting, use the hashtag #GrowWithGoogle. If you want to tag me, please do. I would love to reshare you in a retweet or in my story. All right, so let's go in. How many of you, I'd love to know, are already using Google Ads or have done at least a few Google Ads? Let me know in the question box. I'd love to know the experience level here. It gives me an idea of how fast and how slow you want me to be during the presentation. Okay, so I see some people do, some people don't. All right. More that don't right now. All right. So we'll talk about how you can advertise on Google and utilizing Google Ads. Now, remember what I said, Google Ads, there is some free functionality in there. I'll talk a little bit about that. And of course, if you do run an ad, you do have to pay, but you only pay when somebody clicks. So we'll talk about that. And then how you can improve your ads. So those of you who are running ads, how can you improve those ads, optimize, and get the most bang for your buck, right? And how you can measure that success. You've heard me say that. I mean, that mantra, if you walk away from anything from our 3 days together here in Local Business Bootcamp, it's if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting that bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 and 1 minute spent too much. And then, of course, I finish with recap and resources, always free, because I'm a bootstrap marketer and I always love free or small fee, and I don't encourage any paid until you optimize and max out those free tools. And do be sure that your marketing is really aligned, because anytime you put payment behind it, now you're amplifying it. And if it's just a chaotic hot mess, then all you're doing is amplifying a chaotic hot mess. So let's talk about how we can advertise on Google. Okay, I see a lot of people have never done Google Ads. Please know that I did not mean to strike any fear in your heart, because I will go slow enough to make sure that you feel comfortable and you feel comfortable asking questions. Since this is brand new to you, for those of you who have done Google Ads, if you'll be patient and give all of us a little bit of grace, do know that I'm going to give you the foundation, and double check that you've got all the foundation set up so that your ads are most visible for the least amount of clicks, okay? So advertising on Google, we know that people go there. All right, we've talked about that for several days now. 74% go on a mobile device when they want to know, go, do, or buy. 98% use Google as their search engine, and Google always gives you results, not just in Google search, but also in YouTube, since Google owns both. So in YouTube, we see a lot of unboxing videos happening where people, 4 out of 5, in fact, videos that people watch are actually unboxing videos, because they don't want to buy something that they're not aware of what is there, and they want to be sure they've done their due diligence, and they watch unboxing videos. So we know people are shopping there. What happens is when somebody wants to find something, they will go and utilize Google search, either in the search bar or in the address bar. And then there are ads that actually present themselves. If you've ever looked at a search result page on Google, you'll see the top of it is a line of photos. Those are Google shopping ads. That's a paid position. Then the first text result underneath actually has a little green box around it that says ad, and that is a paid text position. And then you have 10 organic search results that actually happen after that. So there are many ad formats that you can have. You can have a text ad, like I said, around that square box here. You see that depicted here in the graphic in front of you. And then you can also have image ads, which could be your Google shopping ads. And they're also shopping ads. So image ads sometimes show up here in the image tab, but sometimes they will also show up here within search. But shopping ads always show up here at the very top, which do a lot of comparison shopping there. And they will also show up here in the shopping tab. You've got dynamic search ads. So those are ads that come in and that are displayed when somebody's searching for something specifically. So if I'm working with somebody who has a veterinary clinic and somebody starts searching for dog care, puppy care, how to potty train your puppy, then it might show up in that actually search results, because it's actually showing up for dynamic searches. So certain searches that are coming on. Call only ads, because there's some people, I work with a local franchise that he doesn't do business online. He has a presence there for people to look at additional information, but he is service-based. He goes out and repairs your windshield. Thank goodness, because I live in West Texas where hail comes all the time. So I just need somebody I can hotline right away. But he uses call only ads. So that is all they do. The success in the ad and the thing he pays for is a call. So instead of CPC, meaning cost per click, it means CPC, cost per call. Per call, cost per call. So he is actually trying to get more people to call, and he's made his ads very effective and focused on that, because that he knows that's his best customer. The tire kickers, those are the ones who are looking online. And then of course video ads. We've seen that a lot of times within YouTube. We see those that we can skip, those that we can't skip, those that are on the bumpers at the beginning, at the end of an actual YouTube video that we're watching. Today we'll focus on text ads, because that's the basics of Google Ads. And once you have these basic best practices down, you can apply them to any of the ad formats that you use in Google. In fact, marketer's hint, you can apply it to any ads that you do. I run a lot of ads, so I manage a little over a $65,000 budget within Google, and also then another budget within Bing monthly, and another budget within Twitter, another Facebook budget, another, or Meta, so that's Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, which is a very costly ad platform, and then also TikTok. So I'm very familiar with all ad formats, and I can say to you and do know that the foundation you'll learn here is applicable to all ads at the basic foundation level, okay? So this is now text ads we're going to be talking about. They are pay per click, so just like it sounds, you pay when somebody clicks. So you've heard me call it CPC here a moment ago, cost per click, but it also is known as PPC, pay per click. Okay, so both mean the same thing. Now, in order to access Google Ads, you do have to be logged into your free Google account, your free personal Google account, or your free Gmail account. You can get there. If you don't have a free account, look at that bottom left-hand corner. That's how you can sign up for an account. But if you already have a free personal Gmail, you're golden. You don't need a paid account. Once you're signed in there and you go to the Google Ads platform, all you need to do is refresh, and it will recognize your credentials, okay? So once we're signed into our Google account, now we'll go to g.co/ads. It's that first bullet point there. When you click that sign in button, when you look at the graphic there, you'll see that start now or sign in. When you click sign in, if you're logged into your free personal Gmail or free Google account, all you need to do is click sign in, and it'll remember your credentials and let you in. And it will prompt you to start an account. Now by default, it will prompt you into what's known as a smart campaign. So Google has these smart campaigns, which are ad campaigns kind of with training wheels, because we know the tremendous amount of time and energy and money that you can lose doing ads. And we don't want that. As a small business, cash flow is king, and you cannot just waste dollars trying to learn something playing in the sandbox. You need every dollar to lift that bottom line, right? Or get you closer to your goal. So knowing that, we drop you immediately into a smart campaign. If you are experienced with ads, let's say you're really savvy and working with doing ads maybe in one of the other platforms, or if you've done ads in other search engines, then you can go to expert mode, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But right now, by default, everybody's sent into smart campaigns, okay? So when you're set into smart campaigns, you're given 3 choices as far as goals. Either you'd like to get more calls, get more website sales or signups, or get more visits to your actual physical location. So you want people to come in, that's foot traffic. Which goal will you select? This is why you've heard me talk about several times across all of our actual webinars here or sessions, is that you have to know what your goals are, because you cannot measure your marketing if you don't know what your goals are. And they all have to be smart tested, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. That is so important that you have all and test all 5 components to every single goal. So if you walk away again with one mantra, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing, and then also that you do have to make your and smart test all of your goals after this week, you're already going to be head and shoulders to the top 20% that other businesses do not do. And that's the reason so many businesses fail, is because they don't know how to do this step, right? So now you're going to select what your advertising goal is, because you can't measure how well your advertising is doing unless you know what that target is. Now you'll put in your business name. So you place that in there and you'll just click next. It's pretty intuitive as you walk through. You will put your website address, but let's pause here for a moment, because really, even though it says your website address, let's read the text above it. Tell us where people go after they click your ad. So the number one mistake that businesses make in their ads is they take people to their home page. I understand, because we're so excited to get those eyeballs looking at what we do, what our product, service, or solution is. So we're like, we want to show you everything, because more than one of these things or a couple of these things could be exactly what you're looking for. The problem is we're still building trust. And how do you build trust? People have to have several interactions with you, and they have to know that you do what you say you're going to do. That's the part of building trust. So if in your ad you say, hey, I'm going to tell you about this great mobile phone that we have, and now, you know, it's the Samsung whatever, and we want to take you to that model because it can be dunked in water and it can just come out just like smelling like a rose. No problem, no issues whatsoever. Okay, so let's say that's our ad. But now we take them to the home page of that company, where they have to look through refrigerators and phones and dishwashers and washing machines. Now they don't like that. Now you have not done what you said you're going to do. That actually builds distrust. So we want to build trust, especially as small businesses. We only have a few moments to make that good first impression. Take them where that ad is telling them you're going to take them. So if you're talking about that phone, take them to that phone model, directly to that page. If you're talking about the great lunch special you have, take them to that lunch special, or where your lunch special is listed. If you're talking about a new lotion that you're bringing in, a massage therapist who's been so well known and now they're associated with your business and you want to highlight them, take them to that page about them. Do what you say you're going to do, and that will help build trust, and that will also make your ads more effective. So do not make the mistake of just putting your homepage address here. That's the biggest mistake people make. Take them where you told them you're going to take them. Now you can click next. I'll off my soapbox now, but I'm sorry. I've seen way too many businesses lose a tremendous amount of money because they have this in their mind that they want to take them to the homepage because they might want to see and look at everything. They really just feel like they're going to lose that opportunity. And really what loses you the opportunity is the distrust that you start building with somebody, because people will step over businesses, they'll step over dollars to do business with people and businesses that they know, like, and trust, okay? Where does one go to change the website destination in the smart campaign if they have already the campaign set up? Oh, I will show you that, Katrina. Remind me that when I show you the back end dashboard, and I'll show you where you can change that, because you can adjust and amend everything as you go along. So great question, okay? So now we're gonna write our ad. Understand right here, you got a little cheat sheet right there at the very bottom of each line, because those are how many characters you have available. So 30 characters for the headline, and this show is showing that the Spice House is using 19 of those characters. Now a character is a letter, a number, a space, okay, a punctuation mark. So you do have to be super succinct there. But you'll see you've got 3 headlines that you can use, and then you've got 2 descriptions. The descriptions have 90 characters, and as well if you want to show a call button ad, especially if you're doing a call only goal, then of course you want it to make it easy for them to call. They can just click on your ad and call. What I love about using a smart campaign is it is pulling from Google's experience with that industry, and also its experience, its artificial intelligence, and that industry across years of it, so, and current advertisers. So what's nice is you don't have to think about what those keywords are. It will always already present to you, depending on your business category, it will present exactly some keywords that they know work effectively. So you can decide to keep them, like these in the blue buttons are already active, but you can also click and X them out to take them away. If, for example, you're not a, you don't have sweet spices. You're the hot spice store. You're all about hot and spicy. You want everybody bucking out with their mouth on fire. And because of that, you're not the sweet spice person. So you're going to click that off, because you don't want to show up when somebody is looking for sweet spice and they don't want to have anything to do with hot spices. You are only about hot and spicy. Okay. Now it could also be that there are other keywords down here that really also fit for your business. So it could be you do sell spices wholesale. So you can plus that in. It will bring that up here into the blue buttons that are active. And now you are also going to be found for those keywords. So what's nice, it can show you a whole lot more keywords than you may have even researched or even thought about or found out from talking to your current customers. Now, where that ad shows up, you can either decide to put your address in and then drag a little radius here. So you see that drag right under the map. You just click and drag it to be 25 miles, 40 miles out. Or you can click that bottom button right here where I'm hovering over, which is where you can advertise in specific cities and regions or zip codes. So you could put that in that way too, because maybe you don't do business right around your place, or you're not interested in even promoting your place because you're a home-based business and everything, your Google business profile, everything is not publishing your actual address on the site, or you take business by appointment. So you don't want your address there, and you really maybe even do business in another state. You can decide to actually put that state in, that city, or that zip code. Now, when you are given a budget here, you are given Google's recommended budget in the middle. It'll go high and low, and then the middle one is their recommended. I always go with the recommended, and here's why. You heard me say that before. I'm a measure your marketing, because you're not marketing if you're not measuring. So having said that, I am not a set it and forget it person. I go back in after 3 days and I see, even though it's recommended it, is it working for me? So for example, that dog product person that I keep bringing up in some of the examples, he actually sells a very high-end dog product. It's not a collar, it's not flea and tick spray, it's not dog food or dog bowls. It's a very high-end furniture-based dog product, which runs about $279 to $325 for their dog. So it's a piece of furniture for their dog. So even though Google may recommend an average amount to spend, its history with dogs is the consumable products like shampoo and flea powder and dog food. So it's not that high-end product. So I will test it, but then when I'll go back in and change it and adjust it. So you can adjust it. Or for example, let's say I go with their recommended budget and I do 2 ads at their recommended budget. And I see ad number 1 got 1,000 people looking at it, but no one clicked on anything and no one bought. I spent $10, 1,000 eyeballs looked at it, or 1,000 people, so 2,000 eyeballs if everybody has all their eyeballs, and everybody looked at it, but nobody clicked on it. And then I have another ad, which I'm also running for $10, and I got 1,000 people, well, actually not 1,000, let's say 500 people to look at it, 500 people to look at it, but of those 500, 250, 50% actually clicked on it. And of those 250, 200 actually bought something or downloaded something or signed up and left their email address. Which ad am I going to keep on for $10? I'm going to go ahead and close out the one that got 1,000. Even though it got me eyeballs, we've all been there, right? scrolling ourselves, looking at things, but not really seeing. So impressions are not like how I like to measure the success of an ad. It's really somebody taking action, raising their hand and letting you know they have an interest in this. So them clicking or calling is them taking action. So even though this one, the other ad, showed to 500 people, it got 250 people to click. So if I take the $10 that I spent on this other ad that just got 1,000 people looking at it, and I apply that $10 over to this ad, will it double? Will I get another 250 people looking at it and another 200 people leaving their information or clicking or buying or downloading or watching the video? Okay, so will it double exponentially? I will do that kind of testing because I know exactly the goal that we're looking at. And that's why I do really recommend that you will not be successful in ads until you know exactly what your goals are. Okay, and who wants to just throw money away? So once you do this, now you're going to review your campaign. You will enter your payment information then. So see, you can do all of this without entering your payment information, which is very cool because look what happened a couple of slides ago, or actually 3 slides ago. You got to see keywords without entering any payment information. You don't need to. This is keyword search, active keyword search right here that you're not paying for. It is 100% free, okay? So you have that available to you there. So once we've checked everything, double check all your spelling, now you're going to go ahead and make that live and Google will actually review it. So as Google's reviewing it, now you might want to set up your conversion tracking. Conversion is what you consider success in your ad. So that success could be that they bought something. So there's an actual monetary exchange, but it could be the exchange is they give you their email address. They actually fill out your registration form or your contact form, or they download a PDF and put their contact information and provide you their email address or their phone number, or they watched a video that you wanted them to see because that really sets up and sells and starts the funnel for you of what your product, service, or solution is. So as you manage your ad campaign, Katrina, you were asking about this, you can go in the back end. So this is what the back dashboard of a Google ad campaign looks like. And you can see these 3 bars at the top left-hand corner is where you can click and get to the menu and navigate anywhere that you need to here. So you can edit your keyword phrases and themes. Let's say you know, oh, this one's really not working. I'm being found for Walmart spices, and people who buy Walmart spices aren't going to pay the high-end dollar for my super hot and spicy spices, okay? So maybe I don't want to pay when somebody clicks on Walmart. Case in point, the person that has the dog, that dog product, he doesn't want people when they click on a Walmart dog because they're looking for dog food. And he knows they're wanting to spend something like $17 or $20 for dog food. They're not wanting to spend $300 for a piece of furniture. So it's not a good match for him. You can also control when your ads appear and where they actually land. So that is, Katrina, where you can change your website address here. Are Google ads the same as YouTube ads, or are Google ads built into YouTube videos? Actually, Juan, so Google owns both Google and YouTube. So when I say Google ads, you can actually do YouTube ads through the Google ad platform. You can do video, image, or you can do text ad or call only ads. You can do all of those kinds of ads within Google ad platform. So if you're going to do a YouTube ad, you would do this here. So let's say you do an ad and you decide you want it to show up on YouTube, you could do that. But here's the thing with setting up a YouTube ad. YouTube ad videos have to be hosted somewhere. They have to live somewhere. And so you have to have a YouTube channel and you have to have your videos there. Even if they're not published for the public, they're just something that you have unpublished, so they're not easily found. They have to be able to be there so that when Google says, hey, it presents this ad, let's say before a YouTube video starts, it's going to play that video. It has to pull from where it's hosted, and it has to be hosted on the YouTube channel. So you do have to have a YouTube channel in order for you to be able to use YouTube ads, because YouTube ads are all video based, right? So we all know that. We've seen that. Even if it's something that's just for 6 seconds and you can skip past it, it is there, okay? Does that answer your question, Juan? Or does that open up another set of questions? Feel free to ask, because I'm so glad you're using that question box. Perfect, Juan, thank you. So here, as you review your performance, you can make those adjustments and you can make those changes, Katrina, like we were talking about, to where your where your ad actually points to, what page it lands to. So Smart Campaigns, you see all of this is already automated for you, all of this functionality. But if you are truly an expert and feel very comfortable in doing and setting your own guidelines and everything from your budget to the words, everything you're used to doing that by hand, you can do it advertiser manage by using search campaigns. So you don't have to use the smart campaigns. By default, you're taken to that window. But if you really are great at doing ads, then what you can do is when you're dropped into this window, look right here at this very bottom. It says, are you a professional marketer? Switch to expert mode. Now, do know, everything is your responsibility at that time. So even if you've told Google you only want to spend $10 a day, but you put exceptions in your ad saying, I want to spend $10 a day, but if there's double the amount of people on at 5 o'clock, then I want to up that to $20 a day. All of that's going to happen. And if you don't know how to control that, then you could all of a sudden look into your Google ad account and you said your budget was $100 a week, and all of a sudden now it's $1,000. So do feel comfortable with and feel that you know what you're doing when you're ready to go to expert mode. And I only say that because I don't want anybody to lose money. I'd much rather hear and have celebratory gift dances with you online about when you've made a lot of money and you've applied what you learned, okay? So how you can create a search campaign is when you are in here now, you're going to click on search. So you'll actually select that as a campaign. You can also do the same with YouTube too. And you will actually manage every aspect. So let's talk about how you can manage the aspects of your ad, and we'll dive in deeper here. If you have any questions, make sure you find that question box and ask those questions, because I do love that Katrina and Juan are doing that already. And if you want a copy of today's slides and also the recording, right now I'm going to timestamp. Let me go ahead and do that within the question box. I'm timestamping right now. Just say yes that you want that. You don't have to put your email address. It is picking up what the email address you registered with, okay? All right, everybody. So remember, we talked about in the ad, you do still, even when it's not a smart ad, get the little cheat sheet of the actual number of characters available under the line of each item. So the 3 headlines, 2 descriptions, all of that is there, and it'll show you how many characters that you're using. Plus, you can now choose exactly what is the page of the website you want your people to land when they click on your actual ad. Now, tips for writing great ads. There's so many different ways for your content to really resonate and get people to look at it and think when they see that ad, oh my gosh, this is me. I need to talk to and know this person. Because when we can articulate better what people need or what pain that they're suffering through or the information they need, they do see us as the source of somebody who can solve it, because we do such a great job, better than they do, of being able to actually communicate it and identify it. Okay, so if you go here to the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see g.co/text ad tips. If you want to screenshot that, because you're not going to get a copy of the slides till 24 hours later, that's tomorrow at this time, then you might want to do that if you're ready to take action on that right away, because there's lots of good best practices that they share with you on how to make sure your ads are optimized and clickable in the content side. I don't think I commented on yesterday's session. Could you please send me the recording? Okay, so Juan, would you do me a favor? When you got today's webinar, actually it's my email address. If you reply there, will you reply to that? Because what happens is it will pick up, the system automatically picks this up, but it doesn't pick up messages like that. So even though I timestamp that, once it closes out for your privacy, I lose the rest of the comments, and I don't want to lose that. I don't want you to think you've told me and then you don't get anything. So please reply to the email and you'll get that, okay? Or reach out to your Google partner who invited you to. Okay, thank you, Juan, thank you. So you can see here, for example, maybe you want to really get specific about spices. You have specialty spices. It's not just every run-of-the-mill, everyday black pepper. This is hatch pepper from New Mexico, or this is spicy hot, very caliente pepper from Singapore, okay? So maybe you want to put by specialty spices, and you can include keywords in ad text. Remember what keywords are. Keywords are the words that people use, their own words, to search for things. Either they're typing it in or they're saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, because voice search is a thing and it's very, very popular. So think of the words that people use when they are trying to find your business or your solution or your product. This is really key. It's also very important for you to know how people search too. So their own words, some tips on finding their own words is, think about when people don't know you exist, but they know that there's a product or service or serving that can serve them. How are they searching for you? What do they do when they know that they don't know you exist, but they know that there's a product or service that can help them. Do they go out to Facebook and just shout it out on their feed? Are they talking to people at a chamber mixer and saying, hey, could you tell me this? Do they call their friends and family? How is it that they actually get recommendations and referrals? And then the second question to that is, if they don't know that you exist and they don't know that there's a product or service or solution for what they're going through, what are they searching for? Okay, so it could be they're searching for what is a good credit score. Now, the end thing is they're really looking at getting a home loan, but they are not there yet. They're wondering what should their credit score be. But the end question will be they're looking for a home loan. So this is when they don't know you exist or a product or service that can help them. They might start with that because a friend of them said that you have to have a good credit score to be able to buy a house, okay? So think of their own words. The second tip I have for you is a tip that you've heard me say several times here in our sessions, this second part of the boot camp, and that is read your competitors' reviews. Read your own reviews, because in their own words, they will tell you exactly what mattered most to them. Not what you think mattered, what mattered to them, what really mattered to your customers. And if you don't have customers yet, or you just have a few reviews, read your competitors' reviews or somebody you see as a competitor. Not everybody's a direct competitor. For example, if I ran a movie theater, I wouldn't just be looking at other movie theaters. I live in Midland, Texas. There's just 3 movie theaters here, 2 or 3 in Odessa. So really those are the 6 that would be competing with each other. But I know for that dollar, that entertainment dollar, people also eat for entertainment. So restaurants would be my competitor. People go to the bookstore, they go to the D&D store, they go to the manga store, they go to all of that because that is how they use their entertainment money. So that is a competitor, and I would like to find out, what is it that you loved? Oh, I love the adventure. I love the involvement. So maybe if I'm running a movie theater, I really need to talk about the fact that, hey, you know, we're pretty interactive too. We get you in the feeling of it from the minute you step in, you hear the music and you get a call back to, you know, whatever the music was of this series, this movie. You know, everybody hears the Top Gun music and we're all ready to go, right? We're ready to jump into fighter planes. So keep that in mind. Who is your actual customer and your competitor, even if it's not a direct competitor, but they're still after that same dollar that somebody would spend. And think about the words that they use and look at their reviews, because in their own words, they really are saying what it is that mattered most to them, okay? That's how you can improve your ad. And then test. I always test, because even though I may think something, I am not our best customer, and I would like to test and really get the data and insights to show me whether or not this makes sense to everybody, okay? Now, when you are looking at keyword phrases for smart campaigns, remember that already is dropped in here. You see that behind this big search phrase graphic is everything we looked at for the smart campaign. But if you are doing this yourself, so you're manually doing it, you're in expert mode, you can now go to these search phrases and it'll actually show you how many people click on there and how many people saw it. So impressions are just that people saw it. And this is an impression, okay? Means nothing, because I just didn't see a thing on my screen when I was doing that. I was looking at the camera. So that's an impression. Clicks, though, is somebody actually taking action. That's an activity. They have raised their hands to say, this is of interest to me. Okay, so they clicked on it for some reason. They thought it was of interest. So if essential spices is something that you want people to really look at, then you can keep that on. If you click this little blue button here to the right, click on it, it'll become gray. You've turned that phrase off, meaning that people looking for essential spices will not be presented your ad. Now, as I look at this, even though Chicago Spices has 21,098 impressions, I am not going to use that and keep that on because it's only 23 clicks. I'll click it off. I'd rather keep the 839, but it has 96 impressions, or 96 clicks, sorry. 839 impression, 96 clicks. I'd rather keep that on. Now you could keep all of them on, but just understand, anytime somebody clicks, you're going to pay for that click. And Google watches those clicks. So if somebody clicks on something and they come to your site, and in 60 seconds or less, they don't do anything, that's considered a bounce. Now, if every time they come to your site, so let's say all 23 people here came to your site, they clicked through the ad, came to your site, and they didn't, all 23 of them didn't do anything within 60 seconds, they just left. What that means is, Google reads that as a quality issue. This site or that ad may not be really delivering what people are looking for. And now it charges you more in the cost per click, because it's saying this may not be a great experience. Let's make sure that we're telling this advertiser they may need to go back and look at their text, or look at where they're sending them at, or look at their photos or their video that they have with us. They need to look at some sort of content they're providing and see why it's not matching. So we're going to bump that up on ad spend click. Okay, so that really makes us, of course, whenever we see something that's become an increased spending, we now put our eyeballs and attention and figuring out exactly what is happening. Make sense to everybody? All right, did you say that one must be in expert mode to see the search phrase in a smart campaign? No, Katrina, I said the search phrases here, this is expert mode. Behind it, the graphic behind it, you see that with the blue highlighted keywords, those are in the smart campaign. So you don't have to be in expert mode to see that in smart campaign. You see that screen behind this big box, this big blue outline box is actually what you'll see in a smart campaign. Search phrases is what you'll see in the expert campaign, okay? Make sense to everybody? Now you will see some of them here in the search phrase back here. You see right back here, you can click on that. You will see some of those too. So it's not just in expert. You will be presented those too. And you can plus them in or minus them out. Does that make sense, Katrina? Let me know in the question box if I answered your question. Now understand there are different types of search campaigns. You can do a broad search campaign, which means when you put spice, it could be that I'm looking for HEB spice, Walmart spice, cheapest spice. So maybe we don't want to be found for that and pay for when people click on that. Thank you, Katrina, for letting me know. I'm glad it was helpful. So broad means that it's any way, shape, or form it could be spice. So if I'm searching for the Spice Girls, I might have to click on your ad because I see that ad come up and I think, oh, it came up when I was looking for Spice Girls. Could that be an ad that I want to look at? And I realize, oh, no, that's hot, spicy ads. Nothing to do with that. I'm more interested in the Spice Girls. And are they still performing now? Or they're going to have a reunion tour or whatever? It will show up because that's broad. It's just looking around, words around the word spice. Now phrase, spice, when you put quotes around it, that's the phrase. And it does look for those variations. So you could say hot spices, or you could say spice hot. So you could say essential spices or spice essential. So you could go either or. It's not going to look at it exactly, but it will pick up that there's two words within those quotes, and it's going to pick up those two words. When you use the brackets, now that is exact. So if I want people to own, or I only want to pay when people click on essential spice, I will put the brackets. I put bracket, that front one, essential spice, and another bracket. I'll put all that together, and then people need to find it by looking at essential spice only, or essential spices. You know, there's a variation making it plural. And then of course I could put a negative here. If I don't ever want to be found or ever pay when anybody clicks on it thinking that they're going to find the Spice Girls, I could put negative girls, and that's a negative keyword. Now in a smart campaign, all you're doing is plussing them in or Xing them out. So you can plus them in, X them out, and what's nice is you can add your own. So you're not just limited to these keyword phrases and themes, you can put your own there too. Okay, so that's covered up here, but you can add that. Now the keyword planner is a great tool that's also 100% free, and you don't have to put your payment information to use it. When you get to the keyword planner, you are in your Google Ads, you will be in the back end, which is the dashboard. And if you look at the very top, you'll see a wrench. See that very top wrench there in white? When you click on that, this column will show up, and you're looking for keyword planner. It's usually the last one there, especially if you're a new ad account. So you'll click on there, it will take you immediately to where you can put in your site address, and it will tell you the popular keyword phrases that people are using to find your site address. Now, expert marketing tip, I'll also put my competitors' address here and find out what words they're using to find my competitors, and see if I can use some of those words in our ads and get some of those eyeballs to look at us. Not only ads, I'll use it in YouTube descriptions, I will use it in social posts, in profile links, you know, so up there in the Instagram profile or TikTok, you know, I'll put all of that in there and use that because I'm wanting to fish where the fish are, get the eyeballs that are already there looking to now look at us. Does that make sense to everybody? But you can see the volume of how much people are actually searching for it. And you can see the average, you know, if you want to be on the top of the page, average cost per click normally, and the highest cost per click. So you can also see that too, helping you do some research as you're putting your ads together. Can we use the keyword planner outside of creating an ad? Yes, Shawnette. So what I like to do with people with the keyword planner is tell them to start their Google ad campaign. Do not put any payment information in there at all. Do not ever enter your credit card number. Go up to that gear, not the gear, It's a wrench. Sorry, lost what that was for a minute. I do speak for a living. So this is a wrench right here. Click on the wrench, and then at the very bottom, you'll see the keyword planner. So you can use that even without entering a credit card. It will always remind you right here at the very top. You'll get a little yellow warning saying, remember to enter your payment information, and it's okay. You don't have to listen to it. Just ignore it, and you can go here and use the keyword planner. So isn't that cool? It's a free keyword planner. There's a lot of keyword planners that you can pay for, and you can pay a hefty amount for. But here's a keyword planner that's actually put out by Google. So of course the search engine knows its search results. It's watching that all the time. So it is the most up-to-date keyword planner that you can ever have access to. And you have free access to it as long as you connect with Google Ads. You don't ever have to pay for a thing, right? Super cool. Whenever I tell people set up your Google Ads, they immediately roll their eyes at me thinking, you know, with the Grow with Google shirt, she's selling Google Ads. I'm like, no, there is free stuff in there you can use. You don't even have to put payments in, right? So I'm glad you thought it was cool, Shawnette. I hope it was helpful to everybody here in the room. Now our ad extensions, let's look at these too, because when we're looking at that expert mode, you can add what's known as ad extensions. So what are ad extensions? A call extension means that they're going to see that they can click on a phone number and call you immediately from the ad. We've all done that sometime when we've seen an ad right away and we just click on it. Do know a few things that happen with a call extension. It is tracking, so it does let the advertiser know, hey, this is the phone number somebody called from, and this is how long you spoke to them on the phone. That's called the call report. I like that because if you're doing a call extension ad, then let's say you only serve the 432 area code area, then you can make sure that all the other area codes are not shown, and that helps now even optimize your ad, that you're not spending and wasting money in any of the other areas, even though it still may be geographically look like it's in your area, it's not. So you can do that, and you can also push out that people will call. What I do like to tell advertisers who are using call extensions is you will get dinged, or you'll get charged for each call, right? Pay per call, pay per click, cost per call. So you're going to get paid, you're going to get charged for each one and have to pay for it. So when you get somebody on the phone, here's the question, or one of the parts of the conversation you need to add is, can I have your phone number? Here's my direct line. People love to have that insider direct line. I've got direct access to you. Here's my direct line where you can call me. The reason I say that is because the way Google tracks the ads is there is a phone number with the ad associated that looks nothing like your phone number. It's a tracking phone number. So if people save that phone number and call back on it, you're getting charged for each phone call, okay? I don't want you to do that. Once they call in, once is enough, that's fair. So they charge for that, and now you can say, hey, I want to make sure I have your phone number in case we drop the call, and also this is my direct line. So you have direct access, and we can continue this conversation if you have other questions. It makes them feel special, and it helps reduce your ad cost. Okay, there's also site link extensions. You've seen that before too. Site link is when you have it going to, let's say you're selling sunglasses, and now you have Polaroid or UV ray sunglasses too. So that could be that somebody's looking specifically for that. So they're wanting to go directly to that page of your site, and you are actually promoting just that one kind of product, or that one version of the product. Call out extension is a little bit different. So it's not the call extension. This is call out, meaning it is calling out certain aspects. Like these are our store locations. These are our where we sell the hot spices, where we sell the sweet spices. So it's really calling out some of the different attributions. It could also be a location extension saying, hey, we're in Schaumburg, Illinois, and we're here in Arlington Heights, and we're in Palace Heights, or we're in Southern Illinois and Rochelle. So it could have been all of those areas too. Okay, so you have all of those different extensions you can make live if you do the expert mode. You can also put price extensions. Now, I like to use these because a little price tag shows up under the ad, which is what I like to get more action and visibility. A lot of people become numb when they just see text, but when they see a photo or a little graphic, it really gets their attention. That's why I'm a big fan of the Google Business Profile, because it takes such prime real estate on that right-hand side and gets so much good visibility. You also have promotion extensions. So if you're promoting something specifically, we've got a $5 off sale or structured snippet extension. That means you're looking for somebody looking for specifically a certain item, so a certain snippet that they're putting in. App extensions, those are only available for mobile and show up only on mobile devices, because the action is to download or install the app, and you can only do that on your mobile device. And then of course, automated extensions could be automated. It's just running through your website and looking through what extensions are available to you for your business, for your website. So those are what the extensions mean. Any questions before we move on from there? All right, use that question box if you do have questions, because we're getting to the end, and I want you to really think about what is it that you want people to do. What is what does success look like, sound like, and feel like for your ad? This is really important, and you do need to measure it. So what are you measuring? You've heard me talk already about impressions. That's just somebody seeing it, whether they really saw it or not. Click means they actually did something, they clicked or they called from it, and then conversion means they did the success event that you wanted them to see that ad was successful. For example, when they click on an ad and you have it download this PDF or watch our video, and they truly do download the PDF or watch the video, or click here, buy now, that's your click. They click on it and they actually do buy now. That is how you measure whether or not that's successful. Make sense? All right. Oops, keep clicking off of here. In your smart campaigns, those reports are in there, the impressions, clicks, and the calls, and then conversions too, if you set that up, really letting Google Ads know what you deem as success in conversions. Let's say, you want to sell 5,000 a week, then that would be what your conversion goal is. But you could have other goals there too. So that's what it looks like in the back of smart campaigns. And then if you're using the more expert mode, the search campaigns, it looks like this. So you get even more detail in it about ad groups and landing pages, and even more demographics about the people who are looking at your ad or clicking on your ad. Now, I always encourage you to link Google Analytics with Google Ads. Why? Because every Google tool confirms that you're a real business, and then that does show you up higher in a search, because there's confirmation through Google and all Google sources that you're a real business. But also, your ad spend will be lower if Google has a better understanding of how people shop. Google Analytics, remember, connected to your website, is showing you how people shop and what information matters to them. When it's connected to Google Ads, now it's teaching that to Google Ads. Google Ads, though, in turn is teaching Google Analytics, hey, you know what? People are really looking at these sweet spices here, so you might want to think about putting that into your analytics. So now you're going to get that recommendation in the Insights and Recommendation section and tab of your Google Analytics. So I do like the two of them working together. I see only upside, no downside from the two of them working together. So when you go to Google Analytics, you go up to this URL here that's at the first bullet point, g.co/analytics. If you were here yesterday, then you know all about how you can set up analytics and make better business decisions. But if you don't know how to do that, there's lots of tips here at that URL at the very bottom. In fact, it'll walk you through. Just be logged into the Google account or the free personal Gmail account that you want to set this up with, or you're setting up all of your business with. Okay, we've covered quite a bit. So here's what I want you to think about as we end the entire Small Business Bootcamp or Local Business Bootcamp sessions. Really think about your customer and their journey. It's our job to be experts in our customers. We need to really do that, because we're going to do the heavy lifting between connecting what we have, what they need, and what they're searching for. So if you think that it's way beyond just Google search and ads, what people do when they have a need, they need a gift. So they start informing themselves, educating, they start searching, they start watching different information. That could be to find out a little bit more about how do you use those hot, spicy ghost peppers, or how do you make sure that you don't have a hot, spicy ghost pepper when you do get a spice, if it's not labeled. So you can find out a lot about a customer, but really our job is to know their path to purchase and to understand their decision journey and the information that they need on that journey. Now you can learn more always at our YouTube channel. The URL is at the bottom left-hand corner right here on how to get to our Grow with Google channel. You all heard me talk about the digital certificates or the career certificates that you can apply for free. We have scholarships till 2023 to any business that has an EIN number and their entire team. So feel free to go to this URL and take a look at that. And of course, we have lots of different other topics that we can cover with Grow with Google. I'm very excited because we've got some new topics that just launched this last week on how to set up and use free Google sites to create your domain and your email. How to set up your branding, how to have customer focused marketing, design thinking for entrepreneurs, which I really, really love, especially since I come with 18 years of working with inventors and designers. So I really, really love that session. I'm looking forward to being able to provide that. How to make your small business more accessible, because accessibility online and offline is very much an important part and aspect of your business that you do have to be aware of and be able to implement either online or offline or both. Okay, so feel free to reach out to your Google partner. These are the Google partners who can invite me back to come talk about any of those things. If you'd like to do boot camp again, if you'd like to pick out the specific topics when you go to the google.com/grow site, feel free to do that and reach out to your Google partner. I want to say thank you to the Google partners, very much so, for the amazing business boot camps that we've been doing through July and August. This has been wonderful. You know, I know that we have just a few months left in 2022. And if you are not halfway to your goal, what are you going to do differently now to get to that goal? Are you going to apply anything that you've learned here? Because knowledge is not powerful until it is applied. So what are you going to apply? I would love for you to let me know and keep connected with me on socials, because I love to celebrate whenever you do apply something and you see it successful for you. And then when it becomes old hat for you, I really love that too. But if you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording. So